Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beyonding podcast. I'm Kylie Carr, one of your co hosts. I am here with my co host, Myra Capri.
Hello.
Hello, and we are joined together today by one of our Beyonding sisters, someone who is a powerhouse in her field, and one of those people that when you meet her, you will never forget. She has one of those exuberant energies that it is undeniable, unforgettable. And as we were preparing for this conversation and thinking about who would be the best person, she immediately came to mind. Her journey, her story, many different things that have happened along the way that are just so amazing. I know that this conversation is going to be chock full of many beyonding moments. So please welcome Danika Leaks. Welcome, Danika.
Hello. I'm so excited
Look
to
at
be
look
here.
at that beautiful smile. Like that was the first
I
thing I noticed
know.
about Danica. In any room she walks in, she brings a smile first, and it's just like magnetic. Like you want to know who is this woman. It's
Is
very
she?
it's undeniable. Like you said, that was a great word.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us, who are you, Danica? How would you describe yourself and who you are, how you operate in the world? Tell the people.
I think the first word that comes to mind when I think of myself is passionate.
Mm.
And I used to describe myself as being a lot. And then I started thinking, I don't know that really, what is a lot? What does that mean? And so I've kind of stopped saying that. And I'm a passionate person. And anyone or any thing that I am passionate about, watch out because
Mm.
it's I don't even know that I would just say passionate.
Mm.
Mhm. What are some of the hats you wear in your life?
I'm an entrepreneur. I am a yogi. I am a leader. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend.
Mm.
And I'm just a woman who has put her peace as a priority.
Ooh.
I love that one. Like I almost want to just jump into that one and all of the other things that have come up for me at some point. We'll get back to them. But peace as a priority for me is like almost like a lifestyle commitment, right? It is more than just oh, I'm doing self care, self care Saturday. I'm going to go get my nails done or get a massage. It is, I have prioritized my well being, wellness, and health over everything else. Like this is so important to me because if I don't have my well-being, what else do I have? And when I think about you, Danica, you can talk more about this, but I see that when you talk about peace as a priority, it's more than just words. It's more than just I'm checking off a list on my self-care Saturday.
Mhm.
So when you talk about peace as a priority, I know a little bit about you, but can you tell us what that means?
I think for me, and it's been a journey. Like, don't get me right. Don't get me wrong. I don't always have it together, and I'm trying to bring balance to my life like everyone else does. But for me, I have raised a son, and I mean, I've been divorced many, many years, and his dad is a very active participant at this point, but he wasn't always. And
Mm.
so when you're trying to build a business and you're trying to raise your son and you're trying to be a daughter and a friend, I got lost for many years. I lost myself for many years. And I realized by finding out the hard way, by losing some people in my life and just other kind of some hardships, I realized that if I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of everybody else,
Mm.
right? And so instead of feeling guilty or feeling selfish for taking care of myself, I've kind of changed the way I think about it in my mind, is that when I take care of myself, then I can be there for my team. I can be there for my dad. I can be there for my son. I can be there for my significant other, all those things. And so it was just a mind shift. And I do a lot of women's retreats, and I work with an amazing coach, and I have lots of coaches as friends. So I just saw and heard it so much that I was like, oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to. And I just kind of curated for me what that looks like. And sometimes it means making hard decisions on ending relationships, both romantic and business. Sometimes even changing the dynamic of my friendships. But I have to take care of myself. And I have to provide an example for my son of what it looks like to take care of yourself first. I have to provide an example to my team, which again, I don't always get it right. And when I'm lecturing them about stuff, I'm also lecturing myself. And I just feel like in the world we live in, we have got to take care of ourselves, right? We have to take care of ourselves. And so that for me is what peace being my priority looks like.
Yeah.
So good.
Go ahead, Kailei.
No, I'm curious how that has translated over time too. So you went through this journey where you had that realization that, oh, I need to prioritize my peace. I need to put myself first. I need to set an example for those around me. And when you've done that, what has been on the other side of that? What have you noticed
Well,
as a
sometimes
result?
people look at me like I'm crazy, like, Danika, I get that frequently. And sometimes it's negative, but a lot of times it's like, well, if she's going to show up, she's going to show up. But if she's not going to show up, it's because she can't show up. Right. I try to not overdo it. And I do still overdo it sometimes, but I have a visual in my room. I have someone on my team that has amazing penmanship. And so I was like, can you write these Post-it notes for me? And I literally wrote like 2025 soft girl life. And I listed all the things that I want to do. I want to do yoga so much during the week, right? Because we know that connecting our breath and our movement and clearing our mind is important. Meditation is important. I have a bike. I have my bike. I got this bike from Walmart oops, we don't shop at Walmart, but you know what I'm saying. Before we stopped shopping at Walmart. And it has a little basket on it, and
Like a
I drive it out
cruiser.
to my neighborhood. So I want to ride my bike so many days a week, right?
Yeah.
I want to try to have fresh fruits and vegetables in my refrigerator. And I try to put them in bags or at least wash it up so that if I need to run out, I can take something with me. Or it's like today, I came back to the office. My sales rep and I were out on an appointment this morning, and I came back this afternoon and I was like, hey, did you eat today? And she was like, no, I'm not hungry. I was like, what? I don't care if you're not hungry. I was like, you got to eat. You have to fuel your body. And so she just went and grabbed a few little strawberries and just some little cube cheese. But I had said, like, it's a mindset. I had said before I went grocery shopping, and I asked everyone on my team and my son, what do you guys want to have in the house? Like, and they were like sparkling water and this vegetable or this fruit or applesauce or whatever, because so often we're going that we don't even eat. Right.
Yes,
So,
yes,
and part of that is being prepared, having it in the refrigerator ready to go. Right. So
yes.
it's little things like that. It's little things like making sure that I have bottled waters to go, or making sure that I have what do they call those Stanley cups or whatever. I don't have Stanley because I'm a cheapskate and I don't want to spend $50 for a container to drink water out of.
I
But
get it.
just have a container that you can put water in and you can leave it out, or whatever. It's just like little things like that we just have to think about and prepare and just keep in front of ourselves, right? So whether it's I don't know, notes on your Post-it note on your mirror, or a note on your computer, or however you best do it, just providing yourself little reminders.
Yeah. And I imagine, I mean, you mentioned some of the roles that you're playing, and I'm sure you didn't even mention all of them, but you said entrepreneur, yogi, mom, friend, daughter. and how you just kind of balance your time. Tell us about your business. So, as an entrepreneur, what business do you own, and how have you navigated like all of these other roles while being an entrepreneur?
So, yeah, I didn't start off thinking I was going to be an entrepreneur, right? I knew I loved sales. And I actually just posted a little story on my social media the other day about how I'm a sales rep, right? And I have
Mm.
been a sales rep since I was younger. I was talking about how when I was in 5th grade, I had this teacher, Bonnie Barker, and we had this little, we called it mini society, and everyone had to create their own business in mini society in the classroom, right? And you could make money, like fake money in the classroom, and you could like buy the front seat if you wanted to sit in the front seat, or you could buy the back seat, or buy leaving for yoga, or leaving for lunch first, or going to recess first, all these different things, right? Or you can buy a homework pass, or you could, all these things.
Mhm.
And so my business that I created was I sold school supplies. So I would go to
Mm.
Pick and Save, which was like the dollar store in California, and I would use my allowance to buy like little erasers and pencils and all of this. And then I would go to school and sell those for fake money. I did
Wow.
not care that it was fake money. I was rich in this classroom, right? I had more money than anybody. And that was like my first taste of success in 5th grade.
Ooh.
And do you know, I still talk with my 5th grade teacher, Bonnie Barker. And I reached
Wow.
out to her and I said,
Ooh.
"Hey, are you on social media?" I said, "Because I'm gonna do a reel." And she was like, "A what?" She didn't even know what a reel was. And I said, "I'm gonna do a reel," and I said, "I want to dedicate it to you, and I want to talk about how what a difference a teacher can make."
Mm.
Mm.
And so I shared that with her because I had a lot going on in my household. There was a lot of toxic behaviors, and I'm not going to go into all that, but there was a lot going on in my house.
Mm.
And so when I went to school, it was everything for me. It was
Mhm.
everything for me. And I had her in 5th and 6th grade. So yeah, I still talk with her. So I'm a sales rep, right? So I was in sales and I worked for a couple of companies like mine. I own a furniture rep firm. So basically, I call on architects and interior designers for, I don't do any residential, but I do like professional stadiums, like Cowboy stadiums, SoFi, Vikings. I worked on their stadium. I do big hospitals, corporate, education, all of that. So I worked for a few companies like mine. And eventually I ended up going out on my own and taking on multiple lines because I was working really hard, and the men that owned the companies were making all the money.
Mm.
And so I had one guy that I had represented his company like a couple companies before. Like I represented his line working for another company. And then when I left that company and went to another company, he fired the company that had the line originally and gave it to the second company. And then I left that company to go work for a company, and that company put me on the map, but they did not treat me right. And
Mm.
so one day I was at a convention in Dallas, and I saw that guy that I knew from before. He was there with that second company that had his line. And I was like, "Hey, can we go to lunch? Will you move me back to California?" I left the show, left my booth unmanned, and went to lunch with him. And he was like, "I would move you back to LA." He was like, "But why wouldn't you just stay here and start your own company?" And I was like, "Because I'm making all this money, and how am I going to go from making this much money, 6 figures, to making nothing?" And I was the breadwinner in the family. And he was like, "Well," I was like, "How am I going to get new lines and all this?" That day, he started talking to other manufacturers, and he helped me put together my first line package of multiple lines.
My goodness.
And
Wow.
that was the beginning of Danika and Company as an independent rep group with multiple lines.
Mm.
So I think this year I'm celebrating my 25th year in business.
My goodness.
And
Wow. Congratulations.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
it is.
huge. A milestone.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And
Mm.
I raised my son, and
Mhm.
I have a team, and I continue to push myself to go to the next level, right?
Mm.
And I'm always asking the hard questions. And, sometimes I make decisions. Like last year, I was working with a company, and some things about that company just were difficult, right? And I just felt like I was tired of getting cut off in conversations. I was tired of being, I wouldn't say, this just not being appreciated the way I wanted to be, right? And I made good money with that line, like well over six figures. And I just, one day I was talking with them, and that night I called, they were making a change because the sales manager I had and I just, it wasn't working. And so they were switching me to another person. And I said to her, I said, you know what? I think I'm about to resign. And she's like, no, no, no. We're going to work great together. And then that night, my sales rep and I went on a call for a project opportunity for this. And there was just like no appreciation on their part. It was like 7 o'clock at night. And we're at this meeting trying to get information to help, place ourselves in the right position for this project, to win this project. And they didn't even care. And I just thought, that next morning I woke up and I called her and I said, yeah, I resign. And then I
Wow.
followed up with the email. And she was like, but we were going to talk today. And I was just like, the reality is there was nothing really else to talk about. And was I freaked out about losing six figures a year? Yes. How much money is enough money, right? And it's like shortly thereafter they had this big meeting, and a lot of other of my colleagues from around the country were at this meeting, and everybody was like, where's Danika, where's Danika, where's Danika? And like later that next month I was at a big convention in Chicago, and everyone was like, what happened? They didn't say anything. They were acting like it was no big deal that you weren't there. And I just started talking about some of the things that weren't working for me, and they're like, oh, they were all thinking the same thing. The difference is they're still there and I'm
Ooh.
not.
Wow.
We have to choose what makes us happy. This
Yeah.
life is so precious, right?
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
about the recent thing in Texas, those floods, and all those young girls that lost their lives, all those people that
Yes.
lost their lives. They were just at camp,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? And I see my dad getting older, and I, I don't want to work all the time. I want to
Mhm.
enjoy the fruits of my hard work. I want to travel. I want to visit my house that I bought. I mean, there's a lot of things I want to do. So I just let
Mm.
it go, and I'm at peace with it. I don't stress about it.
And that's
I
your
believe
priority,
that,
peace.
they say God didn't bring me this far to forsake me now.
Mhm.
I don't
Amen.
believe that He did.
Yeah. You're
So,
prioritizing peace.
right.
Mm.
Mhm. What
And
do you know?
the crazy part about that is, since that time, just as I was coming back, I was flying back from Costa Rica. I'm copying it on the plane, and I get a call from one of the top headhunters in our industry, and their direct competition heard about me and wants to talk to me. So I had an initial interview or initial conversation about a possible taking on a line similar to theirs. I wasn't even
Hmm.
looking for it. It's just kind of happened. And now that I know what I didn't like about working with them, that's what I led with in my conversation and my
Ooh.
negotiations, because the things that I didn't like, I'm not going to work for another company that have those same things. So
Yeah.
this is bare minimum. This is like minimum that you'd have to do for me to even continue conversations with you.
Hmm.
Wow. And
But that's because
advocating
I
for
did not,
yourself.
right,
So clear. So
right,
clear.
yeah.
I'm curious I'm just trying to take it in, like 25 years of being in entrepreneurship. I think we're 11 years in with the Asbury Group.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And it still feels kind of new. Like I feel like it's been over a decade. That is not short, but yet there's still learning, there's still growth. So when you think about 1 year in, 5 years in, 10 years in, 15 years in, what are some of the things that you know today that you didn't know even 5 or 10 years ago?
I think the biggest thing that I know now is that I have to invest in myself. I have to invest in myself.
Mm.
My time on retreats, these leadership retreats that I go on, and wellness retreats that I go on, working with a coach, surrounding myself with women that are next level. Like I was coming back from a retreat in Mexico, and I was sitting in the shuttle on our way back to the airport, and I'm sitting here on this bus with women that are like help write TED Talks, and women that are professors at Stanford, and all these movers and shakers at like top level. And I'm just sitting there like a little girl, like, how can I even be here? Like, I can't even believe that I'm here, and how lucky am I? And they're like all looking at me like, what are you talking about? You're supposed to be here, right?
Mhm.
And so sometimes I don't even see myself, like I see myself through others people's vision of me, or what it's like when I'm around other people and they're saying things about me, I'm kind of like, oh, that's me, right? Because I still think of myself as this little girl. I still think for many years I didn't go to college. I started working right out of high school, right? I beat myself up about that for many, many years and had an imposter syndrome really, really bad, right? And so I know that I belong where I am, and I have earned a seat at the table. And so I don't apologize for who I am anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a lot. Yes, I'm passionate. And the same amount of passion that you get when I win a project is the same amount of passion you're going to get when you screw up and make me lose an account like I did today. I did not hold any words back when I told them how I felt about them. And I told them, I said, I will not ruin my reputation because you guys can't get your act together. And when my clients are starting to say to me, you don't want them to make you look bad, I have to rethink, like, is the money worth it? Not all money's good money.
That's right.
Right?
That's a
So,
lesson.
right. That's a
Mhm.
lesson. Not all money's good money. So, and I think another thing that I've learned is just to dream big. Like, no matter what your circumstances look like, give yourself the opportunity to dream big, right? I mean, you guys know I've been wanting to buy this house, right? And
Mhm.
I was at a women's retreat at the beginning of the year, and the coach was walking us through drawing a picture of what, like, if what we're working on came to fruition, what would it look like, right? So I'm drawing this thing, and at the end, everyone starts talking about their drawings. And if you guys can see, I'm not an artist at all, right? I got an A in junior high in art, but it was purely because of effort. It was not because I had any artistic skills. And so the thing about it is I had a trip planned to go stay in the home I thought that was my house. That I thought, you guys heard me talk about this house, right?
Where tell the people where this was.
Okay, so this is in Costa Rica.
Okay.
I was at a
And we
Beyond
want
retreat in Costa Rica.
Mhm.
So,
mhm.
like, I was at a Beyonding retreat in Costa Rica because I chose to invest in myself,
Mhm.
right? I knew Kailei, I knew Myra, I knew that whatever they were doing, I wanted to be a part of it.
Mm.
And so I signed up. I went to Costa Rica, but I was prepared because I reached out to a realtor before. No, I reached out to the facility that was hosting the retreat and asked, was like, does anybody know a realtor? They connect me with a
Can
realtor.
let's rewind. So when did this idea of even buying a house in Costa Rica come? Was
Okay,
it when you
so
were drawing that picture?
no. So me buying a house somewhere other than the United States started 17 years ago when I got divorced, and I was in Dominican Republic walking on the beach, celebrating my divorce. Sorry to my former husband. I don't mean any shade, but I was celebrating my divorce. And I was walking on the beach, and there was this artist there. And he drew, I actually used to have the picture here, but I moved it upstairs now. And it was these little casita houses on a beach. And I
Mm.
was like,
Mm,
when I retire, I want to have a house somewhere else. So
Yeah.
that's where the seed was just planted.
wow.
Then fast forward to probably 2023, 2024, I started taking trips to different places. I've always been a big traveler. I love to travel. But
Yes.
I went to a few places, and I thought that the place I was going to buy was going to be Grenada, right? And then it turned out not being Grenada. It turned out I went there. It was a small island. I actually met a guy there, and he had this amazing house, and he was like, "I'll create a yoga place for you." But he was a control freak, and he was used to having women that were dependent on him financially. And no offense, I'm not dependent on him. So we were kind of having a
Not
little
the
thing, and
one.
he was older, and I was like, so anyway, so that didn't happen. So I went to Grenada. I went to Colombia. I had a trip for Portugal scheduled. And I had been to Mexico a few times, which I didn't think I wanted to live in Mexico, just because there's rules and stuff about buying property and stuff. So I went to Costa Rica. I had never been to Costa Rica, but I had been on a trip with a girlfriend in Northern California, up in the redwood trees, and we were walking through
Mm.
all this greenery and all these trees. And my friend said to me, "Are you sure you want to live at the beach?" She's like, "You really do like all these trees and all this lush like jungle." And I was like, she's like, "I think you might like Costa Rica," because I told her I was going to be going to Costa Rica. So then when I signed up for the retreat, which if you're thinking of signing up, just sign up, people. Sign up. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. So I go to Costa Rica, I reach out, I find these realtors. So one day I leave the retreat, and one other friend that I had at the retreat went with me. I looked at seven
Mm.
houses in one afternoon, because I didn't want to miss a lot of retreat stuff. So I had to squeeze it in quick. So I found a house that I liked. And you guys remember when I came back that night, I was like, I found my house. I was
You
like, I found my house.
did.
Sure,
You
sure
I
knew.
really
did.
felt like I found my house. And so once I got back, I started talking to the realtor more and kind of understanding more about the rules and regulations to Costa Rica and all of that. And then I was like, "Hey, is that house by chance on Airbnb?" And they were like, "Yes." So I'm
Mm.
like, "Get out." So I booked it in March to go stay in this house. Now, I had already been at this house, and I know what this house looks like, right? But when I was drawing the picture of what I thought my future was going to look like, the whole thing was big trees, these lush big, like, you didn't know what it looked like. It just looked like a green mess, and people were like, "What is that?" And I was like, "That's where I'm going to live." But it never occurred to me the fact that the house that I was going to stay in did not have a lot of green trees like that, right?
Mm.
I never made that click, right? So then the trip's coming up for March to go stay in this house. And again, being prepared, I reached back out to my realtor and I was like, "Hey, I want you to send me some more links of new houses that are available on the market now, because now you know, we've seen the 7 houses and you know what I like. So can you find some more houses?" So he sent me I think like 4 or 5 more houses. And the very first one on the list was like this lush green, like it had a chicken coop and
Mm.
live chickens. It had fruit
Mm.
trees. It
Wow.
had this infinity pool.
Mm.
It had the other thing that I knew that I liked, because I know myself, I like to take baths.
Mm.
I like taking baths.
Mm,
And there aren't a lot of houses in Costa Rica that have baths because it's hot there. They don't
mm.
want to take a bath.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
take this. It's just not a big thing like here in the US. Every house has a bath. There, not every house has a bath. So we're looking at this house. It's lush, it's green, it has fruit trees. Birds come. There's a monkey line where the monkeys come
Ah.
and play
Mm.
in the trees. There's a river that runs behind it that you can't really see from my property, but it's there. So no one can build behind me. There's a river that runs on the side. So no one can build to the right side of me. The only neighbor I have is on the left side because my house is right on the street. Like
Mhm.
literally, you push in a code and my gate doors open up to my house.
Mm.
It's like
Wow.
Shangri-La, like you open up. And so
Mm,
it's green and it's
mm.
lush and all of this. And so when I go back in March to stay in that other house, by the second night I'm there, I know this is not the house for me.
Wow.
The first one that I
Mm.
fell in love with. And so that was on Sunday. And by Sunday night, I knew that wasn't the house for me. So Monday we go and we meet. I go to meet this guy, which Kylie knows this guy. She met him. Wait, were you with me, Kylie, or who was with me? No, it wasn't you. I think it
In the
was
airport?
at the airport. Was that you? No, that wasn't you,
No,
Kylie.
but you told me the story.
So I meet this guy. So I'm a yogi. I like to use my own yoga mat. So I was like, I have to have my own yoga mat. Well,
Yeah.
I was so excited about coming on the Beyonding retreat. I forgot my yoga mat on the plane. So they had to
Mm.
go get I know who it was. It was Pascal and
Yeah. Was it Danika
no, it wasn't
too?
Nick. I can't remember who the other person was.
Okay.
Anyways,
Pascal
so
was
um,
Mm-hmm.
people are like, oh, that damn Danica. I'm a little bit ditzy. I'm all over the place. I'm an Aquarius. I'm all over the place. So they were like, okay, we're gonna go and wait for you in the restaurant because we're hungry. So I go to the front desk and I'm like, I left my yoga mat, and they're like, okay, well, just go find a place to sit. We'll bring it to you, but it's gonna be like 20 or 30 minutes. So I look around and I see this white guy sitting here. So I just go sit by him. Turns out, now keep in mind, San Jose Airport is 3.5 hours from Imaloa and from the area that I live in.
Mhm.
So the chances of me going to sit next to this guy, of all the people, he lives in, I think it's called Ahio or something like that, which is like 10 minutes from Imaloa. He said
Mm.
he's in that world. So he starts telling me
Wow.
all about this area. So that Monday, he comes over to the Airbnb that I'm staying at with my friend, and he takes us out and is taking us all around. This man that
Wow.
I just happened to meet at the airport, who's like
Wow.
ex special forces, and he took us to his house, which is so crazy that we went to his house. I don't even know this man. We go to his house. We passed 7 rivers, over 7 little rivers to get to his house. Me and my
Oh
friend are
my
looking at each other like,
gosh.
if he's crazy and he tries to kill us or eat us or whatever, we're not going to be able to
Not
do anything
eat you.
because we almost
Right.
passed 7 rivers and we are in the middle of nowhere.
Where are we?
Where
We don't
are
know where
we?
we
In a
are.
different
And the thing is,
country?
he does like commando zen. He's like Zen Commando is his name, is his company, and he does
Wow.
yoga retreats, but they're like special forces kind of like
Wow.
so we go and we spend the day with him, and then at the end of the day, we're gonna go see this house, the house that I was looking at. That even when my sales rep and my assistant looked at it, they were like, "You're so crazy. This house sounds like something that you would like with chickens and monkeys and fruit trees, and yeah, this is all these green trees. It's probably you. This sounds like you." So I go and I look at the house. We go and we look at the house. Me and my friend Ty, and I'm just walking around like, I can't believe this. And then you go into the master bedroom, or the primary bedroom, excuse me. It's not called master anymore, the primary bedroom. And there's this beautiful shower, and you can look out and see the trees out of the shower. Then I'm like, oh, no bath. I go
Mm.
into the master or the primary bedroom, and there's this little lanai where you open up the door and there's a bathtub, a
Ugh.
full soaking tub. And it's in this
Mm.
lanai outside, but it's inside, and
Ah.
you can look at the pool and you could look at the trees and you can hear all the birds and the monkeys
Oh
and the
my
cicadas and
gosh.
all of that while you're taking a bath.
Ah. That was
So
home. You
Wow.
were home.
so I'm not saying anything. So then I'm just kind of looking around, and my friend's not saying much and I'm not saying much because we have to look at all the other houses. So the next day we go and look at the other houses, and I'm like, no, this isn't it. This isn't it. This isn't it. And so my realtor is like, do you want to go back to that house at sunset tomorrow? So we go down to this little like bougie part of town, Ohochal, and we're having cocktails and sushi, and then we go back to see this house at sunset. And I'm walking around, and my friend is just leaving me be. Like she's walking around taking videos and all of this. And she shows me later her videos, and she's like, "Oh my God, look at this!" She's like, "This is her house." In the video, she's saying, "This is her house. This is her house." And so she comes back in, and she looks at me, or she comes up beside me, and I turn and I look at her, and I have tears in my eyes.
Mm.
And she says to me, I wasn't going to say anything. She's like, but this is your house. So the next day, now remember, I was at the Beyonding retreat at beginning of December. This is the beginning of March. So what, that's 4 months later?
Yeah.
I saw it on Monday, went back on Wednesday. On Thursday, I wrote a letter of intent.
Mm.
Like, I'm
Yeah,
interested.
3 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
3 months. 3 months.
wow.
And was I scared? Absolutely. Did I doubt and try to make excuses and try to talk myself out of it? Absolutely. I also prayed about it. I also started connecting the dots. Like I was supposed to go beyonding, and then COVID happened. And then I was going to leave my money, but I'm a cheapskate, so I got my money back. And then I ended up doing the Costa Rica one. And it's just the way everything worked out. It just, every time I would start to feel nervous, and even still, listen, I just got back from there. I was there for 16 days, working with my property manager to get it all ready. It will be on Airbnb, and I'm also doing a private booking site for my people, which, as you know, beyonding is my people.
Yay! I can't wait.
And so it'll be, because this is the thing. You guys, I found a spa. Like, the spa is within 5 minutes from my house driving. 10-15 minute walk. They do massage, they do nails. The grocery store's at the end of the street, the small grocery store. The larger grocery store is about 5 minutes from that. Wow. There's a little guy on the fruit stand across the store, across the main street from my house, and he was lecturing me on, like, I gotta learn Spanish. But you can get the best mangoes and these other exotic fruits that I'd never even heard of before. The farmer's market on Wednesday and Saturday is 8 minutes from my house. My chiropractor that I found while I was there, referred to by someone else, is like 6 minutes. I mean, everything has just worked out. Like, everything has just worked out. And I could just say dream big and be with people. Like, none of you guys were looking at me like I was crazy. Well, maybe some people might look at I was crazy when I was just like all said and gone. But, you guys were like, you could do it. When I came back, you guys were like, well, what happened? Like, we've all had those friends that are haters, right? Don't hang around those people. Don't hang around those people. And it's not even that they're haters. I think sometimes if you're not happy and your life doesn't look good, how can you be happy and excited for someone else? So I don't even think the hater is the right word to use. But if you're not happy, how can you be happy for somebody else? Right? So,
what I love about your story, Danika, it's like,
Airbnb. I mean,
yes, you have a home in Costa Rica that you envisioned and
I
you made
manifested that.
happen. You manifested it.
I'm just trying to manifest a partner in my life. So for all you prayer
It's
warriors out there,
coming.
pray for me.
Yes.
And send me pictures of good single men that would like to have somebody nice in their life.
Yes.
You will manifest it. It's coming.
Yeah. So I think that I just chose myself, right? And dared to dream big and take chances. And do I have it all together? No. Am I still a hot mess sometimes? Yes. Do I have people in my life that are like, she gets on my last nerves? Probably. But they know I have a good heart, right? And I would do anything for the people in my life. Yeah.
You are embodying what beyonding means, right? Like, there are always layers, right? We are complex, we are human. And you have chosen yourself. You have prioritized peace. You have set your eyes and your vision so many times in your life on what you desire, what you want for yourself, and you have made it happen. You've made it reality. You have broken the barriers, right? Established boundaries when you need to, right?
And
And have
broken
seen the
generational curses
success.
in my
Ooh,
family.
talk about
Like,
it.
my
Talk
son does
about it.
not know, he doesn't know. I mean, he knows about, my childhood and all of that kind of stuff, because I don't have anything to be embarrassed about, anything that happened in my childhood, because it was out of my control or whatever. But he doesn't have to worry about all the things that I had to worry about, right? He gets to dream his best life. And the way he shows up in life, it's like, when I see how he shows up, he is unapologetically, I don't give a what. Like, he's going to do what he want to do, and what he doesn't want to do, he is not going to do it. And he's crafting what his life looks like, right? And he can do that because he knows what it looks like for someone not to take the road less traveled. And it works out, right? Not always the way we want, and not always in the time frame that we want, but it works out, right? And sometimes I just think God, how good is my life? Like how yeah, I just I'm thankful and I'm blessed and I want to share my story because I want people to not give up, right? Because there's been so many times that I was ready to just give up and be like, this is just,
Yeah.
this is, I can't complain. My life could be worse. My life could be better. But just imagine if you try. And if it doesn't work out, okay, right?
Mhm.
But if you don't try, how will you know? If you don't dream, how will you know? And so that's what I try to do. I try to keep dreaming. It's like my business coach asked me, like, so what are you trying to do the rest of the year? And I'm like, not a damn thing. Live a soft girl life. And that's why I had my
Yes.
sales rep Brittany with the great penmanship put those post-it notes. And she was so sweet. She said yes. I know she's probably rolling her eyes like she gets on my nerves, but she did it with a smile.
Mm. Can you talk a little bit, Danica? Because I know that there are people listening right now who are like, hold on. I only have one coach that I used one time, or I've only been to one retreat in my life, or I've never been to a retreat in my life. And it seems like this is her way of life. Share with the people, what is a in a typical year? What are some of the ways in which you have invested in yourself? Like
So
on average.
on average, okay, so I definitely do a strategic planning session with my business coach at the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
And some people use their business coach for just business stuff, right? The person that I work with, we do a combination of work and personal, but my personal brand, Danika and Company, is me, right? Like it's
Mhm.
it's so intermeshed. Yes, people buy from the companies that I represent, but sometimes they don't even remember what companies I represent. They just know they want to work with me, right? And they know that I have
Mhm.
good lines. So my stuff is so intermingled that I do a strategic session once a year. Sometimes I do it one on one. This year's the first time I did a group session, and for me, I like the private one on one more better. Right? I like it better. So I do that. That's a no. That's for the last probably 6 or 7 years since I started working with my coach. I do that
Mhm.
once a year. I also typically do a yoga retreat during the year because it's just about slowing down and connecting to my breath and connecting to myself and taking my practice deeper in whatever it means. It might be more of an advanced asana, which is the movement of yoga, but it might be a breath work or it might be something. So I typically do a yoga retreat, and then I typically do at least one like I call them leadership retreats. Like I would call Beyonding, I would call it a leadership retreat. All of those people
Mhm.
that were there are leaders in their lives, right?
Mhm.
Professionally. And you just connecting with other women that are at the top of their game. Not saying that they're at the top of the game, they have it all figured out. We're all on a journey. We're all
Mhm.
trying to figure it out. But the things I walk away from after these retreats, it's just it might be a little saying. Like I
Mhm.
I say this saying, mind your mat, right? Don't worry about what everyone else is doing on their yoga mat. Mind your mat. And so there
Mhm.
were people like, oh my gosh, I'm taking that back with me. I'm taking that back with me, right?
Yes.
At my last yoga retreat. There's
Mhm.
always little sayings that you learn from other women, like little tricks of the trade, right?
Mhm.
To living a successful life. And I've met some of those most amazing women that will be in my life forever. I am still the very first retreat that I went on was here in Dallas. It was thrown by my business coach. She wasn't my business coach at the time. And I was friends with her. I knew her through yoga. And she was throwing this retreat. And I was like, how much is it? How much does that cost? And she was like, whatever the dollar amount was. And I was like, I just wanted to know what I was going to walk away with from that, right? Because I never got to know what my ROI is. What's the return on my investment? I had never done it before. And she said to me, Danica, you always invest in everyone in your life. Why won't you invest in yourself? I'm not picking you up.
Mhm.
And And so that was like just that little thing. Why don't you ever invest in yourself? That was it. I also dated a guy that told me once that I could be greedy. Now he was trying to talk about me be greedy and something else, but once he said it's okay to be greedy, between it's okay to be greedy and it's okay to invest in yourself. So now I greedily invest in myself.
Good for you.
Yes.
And I never come back from a retreat regretting it. Now
Mm.
every retreat's a little bit different. Some are more spiritual, some are more business, some are more yoga, some are more, like everyone is different. So you have to find the one that's with you, but just listen to your intuition, right? And just know that we can't take our money with us. What are you working for all the time if you don't like what?
Right.
What like
Yeah.
what are you working for? If you don't if you don't take care of yourself and you don't take care of your health and you don't take care of your mind, how are you going to take care of your kids? How are you going to support elderly parents? How are you going to support your team at work? Like, how are you going to do that if you don't even take care of yourself? And when we don't take care of ourselves, when I don't take care of myself, I'm mean and I don't have patience,
Same.
right? And I'm more moody. Like sometimes I come home now and I'm like, I'm gonna go take a nap because they don't. No one wants to be around grumpy people. But it took me being honest with myself. Like I don't want to be mean, so I'm gonna go take a nap, or I'm gonna go sit in my backyard, or I'm gonna book a retreat. So
Yeah.
I just think that we don't, as women, invest in ourselves. We don't. It's like I don't know if we don't think we're worth it. I mean, I think we think we're worth it, but and maybe it's the people in our lives that make us feel guilty for doing that kind of stuff. But we have to teach people how to treat us,
So true.
right? We have to teach people how to treat us, and we have to teach our kids what it looks like to take care of themselves because the world we live in now is now. And we're constantly bombarded by all these Instagram posts of the perfect life and even like the Instagram post of me in Costa Rica. Yeah, but you guys don't know how many tears I cried, how stressed I was, um, how many pieces of candy I ate, and how many pounds I gained because I was eating a lot of candy because I'm an emotional eater. When I was going through this stuff and I was trying to figure out, like when I went to open my bank account, they sent me 4 documents. It was 100 pages in Spanish that I had to translate
Woo.
and understand to open
My
up an account.
my God.
Wow.
I mean, I had an attorney and I had a great attorney. But then this is the thing. So then I start to think big and I'm like, what if there's other women that want to buy a house in Costa Rica? What if I offered a service to help walk them through it?
Ah,
I was just thinking, I was like, you are going through this to clear the way for other people.
but you've
And this is the
navigated.
thing. I don't work for free and
Yes.
I'm not gonna so if you want me to help you, I'm gonna help you and I'm gonna make it reasonable or whatever. But
Mhm.
that's about me knowing my self-worth and what I'm bringing to the table.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes.
no one went through this for me. I had to go through it myself. So if
Right.
I can
Mhm.
pave the way and make it at least a little bit easier. I mean, when I was in Costa Rica, my realty team, they're like, can we do a video? We would like to do a video and interview about your process and all of this, right? So they come over to my house and they just sent me the link to it today. And they interviewed me. When I tell you, they were laughing because the wife was there and the husband was asking me the questions. And we did it in one take.
Mm.
And she was like, you just did that. I was like, oh, I'm a talker. I'm a sales rep. I was like, I'm a salesperson. I was like, I can help you. They sent me the video today. Now I shouldn't have wore the dress that I wore because I looked like a round potato in it. But
I'm sure you look
Stop.
I should
beautiful,
have cut it a
but
Yes,
little bit tighter to look
exactly.
longer and leaner. But whatever the case may be, they did a video, and now I'm going to help more people, right? And I
Yeah.
can use that testimony to talk about I've done the process. I can help you.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. You'll have to share the video with
Yeah.
us.
So I have to show the video. So it's like everything happens for a reason, right? And if I
Mhm.
didn't share all of this, and I think sometimes, like I had one person, I shared me buying the house with someone that I used to date, and he was like, "Oh, you're just being a," he took it in a really negative way, like, "Oh, you're just gloating," and I was like, "You know me, that's what you think I'm doing?" I was like, "Talk about I'm sharing something with you that you knew was my dream, and
Yeah.
it's come to reality, and I want to share it with you. I'm excited about it." Girl, he was just mad because I told him he could book my Airbnb. He wanted me to just let him come and hang with me. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Business.
I told him
Right.
him and his new girlfriends can book it on Airbnb. I told him to.
Yes, for real.
I
Because
Mhm.
see
I'm not giving
you.
myself away for free because I know my
Yeah.
worth.
I see, and you show up for people. It's a common theme that I'm hearing, even with the roles that you play as a daughter, as a mother, as a friend, right? You show up for people. Even the idea that I've done this, I've navigated it, and I want to help other people who may have a similar problem. Like that may have never occurred to anyone else that's gone through all that you've gone through, to think about the next person and how can I make it easier for them.
Right.
I just see
And
that is a
no, keep
common
going.
theme with you.
I
Where does
listen.
that come from? Helping people,
I think because I had to navigate my childhood. Like there was, like I said, there was a lot going on in my childhood, and my dad always was like, "Oh, I know I don't have to worry about you."
hmm,
So then the other people in my family, they got all the attention, right? And I didn't really get attention. And so now, like the people in my life that I feel like love and adore me, they show up for me in spite of all my craziness, right? And so, like my fifth grade teacher, Miss Barker, she showed up for
mhm,
me. She loved on me, right? And I know how I like the way that felt.
mm,
I know
Mhm.
how good it makes me feel when someone checks on me or cares about me or says, I was talking with a client the other day and I was talking about how my son is doing IT and cybersecurity. And he was like, "Oh, he's like, I have lots of contacts in cybersecurity, you know, da 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 da." And I wasn't fishing for help, but that's what we do as humans. We are to be in a sense of community. That's why it's called the beyonding community. It's about having a community, right? So I take care of people in my community. And it's like my dad is suffering from dementia, and I was talking with his doctor. Now keep in mind, 3 years ago I went to this doctor, and the doctor blew me off like I didn't know what I was talking about. I was making stuff up. Now 3 years later, now it's becoming a lot, and now he's like, "Oh, well, I think we should do this and we should do that." I was on a one of those remote, like kind of like a Zoom call doctor's appointment, whatever, virtual
mhm,
visit, and I told
Mhm.
him, I don't really care what a general practitioner has to say. I said, I have friends that have been part of this Baylor Scott and White memory program. I said, and I want you to write a referral to that. I really don't care what you think at this point. And at the end, the doctor said to me, and he was a black man. So you would think he would try to advocate and listen to me. He knows black women know what
mhm.
they're doing. And I said to him, he said to my dad, he was like, "Mr. Jefferson," he was like, "You are really lucky to have your daughter." He's like, "Because she's a
Mhm.
barracuda. She was coming at my throat." And I said to him, I was like, "I'm sorry." I was like, I did come kind of harsh on you. I was like, but I will, I don't mess with my people. Don't mess with my community. Don't mess
Yeah.
with my family. Don't mess with my people because I will do anything for my people. I
Mm,
really will. And do I always do it perfect? No. But my heart, my intention is to show up for people because we need each other. We
That's
need
clear.
community,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if someone, again, if you're kind of thinking, how can I, like, I can't afford it, whatever, and this is the other thing. Sometimes when you're doing these retreats, sometimes it gets to the end and you guys may have a couple more spots, right? And you just want to fill a couple more spots. So some programs have like events that are based on your finances and how much you can do. Or sometimes they may know of someone that wants to sponsor someone else,
mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, there's just, don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. Know that you're worth it, and know that if you have that intuition, that gut feeling in your stomach that you want to go, sign up. And if you don't sign up for this one, sign up for next year and just start making a payment plan.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Say,
that goes with
Callie,
anything.
right. Say, I want to start doing it. I can't do it this year, but I want to start. So I want to start putting money towards it every month. Right?
Right.
Like just
Right.
invest in yourself. Like you're worth it. And I'm worth it. And you'll meet great people and you'll get what you're supposed to get out of it. It's not random that you did that one in Costa Rica and that's the one I went to.
I know. I
Not
know. And
random,
that
no coincidence.
no
Like there's no,
coincidences.
and
Yes.
whether for me, I'm not super, super religious, but I have a spiritual side. I have a relationship with God. I need to pray more than I do, and I need to turn to Him more, but He's got my back. And so
Mhm.
just know whether that's for me, it's God, if it's your higher being or whatever it is, the universe is working for you, but you got to work for yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? If you're not making the connections and putting yourself out there and asking the hard questions and showing up, even when I would get on these beyonding calls, I would be like, oh my gosh, she's a PhD with like 58 masters and she went to this school and that school and this school. And so for a while, I just was really quiet, right? Because I was like, I don't really know.
Mhm.
And I have done some retreats where everyone was looking at me like, where'd you go to school? Oh, yeah, you didn't go to school. And yes,
Mhm.
there are some retreats like that. So that there's one retreat I went on that I would never go on a retreat with that because that wasn't my people. That wasn't my community. Does it mean that they're a bad community? No, that just wasn't my community.
Yep.
So
Right.
you just keep trying. Don't give up. You'll find your place. But beyond, I know
Yes.
you're like, quit plugging beyonding, but it's true.
We're
No,
not
I
like it.
appreciate it. And right. And it's like, what I loved about what you said too is uh, our intuition knows, right?
Yep.
So when we get that nudge, whether it's the beyonding retreat or another retreat or to work with somebody or to go look at a property somewhere,
Mm.
follow that and know that you're worth saying yes to whatever that nudge is
Whatever it
inside.
is, whatever it is. And this is the thing. If you're not really sure, like, how do you find a business coach? Well, what do you talk to about your business coach?
Mhm.
Set up an initial consultation.
Right.
Talk
Mm.
to other people that have worked with that. Talk to other people in the beyonding community. Talk to other people that have worked with you guys as coaches.
Mm.
You because who works for me is not going to work for everybody else, right?
Right.
Like I work with one person, then I end up working with someone else. And part of it is because this other person I work with is a yogi and they have a whole spiritual side. And that's not necessarily spiritual, like a God sense spiritual. It's a different side. So everybody has their different things, right? So you just got to find your person, but your person's out there. Now, I will
Mhm.
tell you, it's like one of the retreats I went on, I invited my sales rep and I said, I'm going to send you this. You read it and you tell me what you think. And I need you to understand, like, this is not like skipping through the park, like, the flowers smell so good. Like, you're going to dig deep and you might find out some stuff about yourself. I mean, you're going to do the work. And she was
Yep.
like, yeah, I think I'll wait on that one. And that's fine. That's
Right.
fine.
Know thyself.
Right.
Know
Mm.
We need
thyself.
to know ourselves and not from a
Mm.
Yeah.
place of judgment, but a place of, I know I need a nap when I'm tired or I'm going to be mean.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that I need to buy fruit and put it in the refrigerator, or else I'm going to stop and eat some ice cream,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? I need to have my yoga classes. Like my assistant puts all the yoga classes from all the different places. Like I have a design studio, a yoga studio I belong to. There's a library by my house that has a free yoga class, and there's the Epic that I belong to. She puts all those, I had to put all of them on my schedule because if I can't make this one, like this morning I went at 7. Because I was gonna try and do a class at 6:30, but now my cousin's coming into town. I forgot she was coming into town, so now I can't do yoga tonight. But because it was on my schedule, I remembered that there was one at 7 this morning. So I went to the one at
Mhm.
7. So it's just giving yourself the tools, right? If
Mhm.
that wouldn't been on my
Yeah.
schedule, I wouldn't have remembered like late last night to get up early to go to that 7 o'clock class. I'm not trying to be anywhere at 7, but I was at that class.
Ah.
Oh,
And then I came back and rode my bike and
Nice.
then jumped on my call with my CPA for tax
Nice.
planning.
mm. Beautiful. Well, Danika, as we wrap, I know there are people who are listening who want to know how to connect with you and learn more about you. So, how can people stay connected with you?
So I am on social media. I mean, I'm on Instagram. My Instagram, I have two Instagram pages. I have Danika Company. It's Danika Company. That's my furniture rep firm. I also have yoga underscore with underscore Danika. Those are Instagram. LinkedIn, you can find me at Danika Jefferson Leeks. That's Danika with the K. And my son needs to tells me I need to stop talking about Facebook because nobody's on Facebook anymore. But you can find me Danika Jefferson Leaks on Facebook, and I think Yoga with Danika on Facebook as well.
So
And
good.
Beautiful.
I'm here. Like, I'm here to share ideas, and I will soon have a third social media platform on probably Instagram for Serenidad Verde, which is my retreat center in Costa Rica. It is green serenity in Spanish, because
Mm.
that's what we want. Like, we want
Woo.
serenity, and I want to be surrounded by the jungle, and the beach is close too. So, yay.
You're
And,
such
and I want to say
inspiration.
thank you to both of you guys, because you show up and create a space for women, and we need the space. When you guys sent me that post or that message asking if I wanted to do your last podcast, I was like, wait, what? I was like, your last podcast? I was like, your last podcast ever? You're like, oh, wait, no, 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 just this season. I'm like, oh, okay. But we need you. We need you guys to be
Yes.
here. So,
Mm.
yes, I am honored. I love this. Go women, go entrepreneurs, go mommies and daughters and girlfriends and wives and all of that. Like, life is so beautiful. We just have to choose to look at the good part, right?
Mhm. You
Mhm.
are a good part of life, and I'm
Thank
so,
you.
so glad that you came on and that you just shared your story. Continue to be an inspiration and be passionate. Like, embrace the passion that you have is just a bright light for so many people. So, and I'm speaking for myself, and I know it's true for other people as well.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
This is beyonding.
Yes.
You are
Yes, this is
beyonding.
it. This is it,
This is
ladies. This is
bonding.
what we're
Mhm.
talking about.
Yes.
This is it.
Yes.
And if you don't know what
Mhm.
beyonding is, that means even more so you need to be here
Mhm.
Yes, and experience it for yourself.
for yourself.
Danica, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your
Yes.
heart, your passion, your story, your wisdom, all of that with us. We appreciate you and we love you.
Appreciate you guys. I
Yeah.
love you.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will see you next time. Be well.
Be well.